For the chat, someone asked, I have a beard. Yes, I became a professor this year, and so I'm growing a professor's beard. The reason being is that I want a young professor look, and then 30 years from now, when I'm like old, I want to have the exact same beard but gray, and I want my students to laugh at me at pictures of me when I was 30 years ago and had a young man's beard.
Show the passage of time.
Yes, it's actually, I'm thinking 30 years in ahead for a joke, so that's what this is.
That is very, very considered indeed.
It's dedication to the craft.
That certainly is dedication to the craft. And talking about dedication, hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. A and Y and Keyframe wonder about random drivel. And what day might it be today?
Well, if people are watching on YouTube, it's September 2nd.
And it's a day too late, indeed.
But no, today is this guy's birthday. He is the big 3-5.
Yeah, and look at this beautiful Frozen-themed banner that I got for the occasion.
Did you get it from Poundland or something?
From Kaufland, those great, beautiful hats as well. We got Raphael and I when we were preparing for the party yesterday. I already had booze, and he was like, and we came up with the idea like we need to do the silliest, stupidest birthday decoration ever. Oh, I also have balloons, but they're on the other end of the room.
Yeah, he achieved it.
Yes,
so.
But after this show is not just about myself. This show is especially starting today also about science. About science! I know. I'm on fire today in regards to my segues. Yes, welcome to the show for the first time with us, Dr. Nuka.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Exactly. So since you are not the traditional kind of content producer we have most of the time, the question is probably more relevant than ever. Please tell us and the audience who you are, what you do, and why people should care.
Sure. So I'm a social psychologist. The doctor isn't just a cutesy name. I'm a Dr. Courtney Plons. I'm a social psychologist who studies fans and fan culture and fantasy. So I'm not a sit on the couch and tell me your problems kind of psychologist. I'm a put you in glass boxes and poke people with sticks and study them kind of psychologist. And most social psychologists study, groups of people or big systemic problems in society. I study my hobbies. So I started off doing furry research. I jumped into brony research, anime fans. I go around to conventions and study people, and we run and maintain a website. Yeah, over there. Yeah,
and in the description down below, obviously.
Yeah, and we studied about 35,000 furries to date over the last 10 years. We make all this data available. We publish books about furries and recently bronies, and we help dispel misconceptions about these fandoms. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, and I'm just the person for the job, I guess.
He has made it possible that furries and bronies are in actual published medical journals.
I've got about 40 to 50 publications, yeah, in peer-reviewed scientific journals.
And all about those damn nerds.
Yes.
Which I could not relate to at all.
It's totally not like me and Max took the FurScience survey together or found a disturbing amount of answers that we answered the exact same way.
Mm-hmm. Because that's how you do those surveys, right? Sharing your answers with other people to not totally screw up the entries.
We didn't screw it up. We just proved that maybe Americans and Europeans aren't so unalike after all.
You know what? Given how many people do our surveys drunk or like on substances, you're not it's not the most egregious violation.
I mean, it was more like we talked about it and then filled it out without. I mean, then again, my survey was actually on the big screen, so you literally could see what I was doing, didn't you?
Yes, and I was on your little laptop, and
so you could actually answer truthfully.
Yeah, I answered truthfully. We discovered that most of our answers were the same until it got to the part about mental health, and then it was like, okay, we are taking our leave now. So
speaking of mental health, there's a question. There's a really good question in the chat. Do you mind if I answer that, or?
Oh, sure.
Why not?
If you see a good one, then jump on it.
Yeah, so Luigi asked, what about the people who think that being a brony or a furry is a mental illness? They're wrong. We have data showing that, if anything, furries and bronies are actually less likely to have been diagnosed with mood disorders, personality disorders, ADHD. They're less likely to have them. The only one that you see a little bit more of in the fandom than in the general population is people on the autism spectrum. That we don't think is specific to the furry fandom or the brony fandom, because one of the defining features of autism is a strong interest in something. And what is a fan if not a person with a strong interest in something? So we think it's any fan group you're going to find higher rates of that. But yeah,
Get off your phone, Max. We're in the middle of a show.
Sorry.
Your expression at the phone is concerning.
No, the expression was more related to my glasses, who kept going down and getting basically into my...
Maybe you should take them off your head, because having the weight of the headphones pulling them down is probably not helping, and you're going to get 2 circle marks on your forehead.
Probably not.
See, you just got to acknowledge that I'm more scientific, because I keep mine on my head.
Then okay, I leave you this victory simply for the reason that I can get out of the code now.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here, the artist who used to want to go into meteorology. I'm on the different end of the science spectrum. I don't study people. I study the things that can hurt people. The sky.
But yeah, now that we know who you are, anything? What's currently going on in your life? What's making the Dr. Nuka go around? Any fun anecdotes to share, or unfun anecdotes you still want to share for whatever reason?
Make us sad. Usually that's my job, but
like
you're a special guest. Oh no, you've not heard any of my great childhood stories.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, we've
Max, what?
My research team recently has been we went to BronyCon just a few weeks ago, and we got a good sample of a few hundred bronies there. They were very eager. We discovered there, by the way, that bronies are super, super cooperative. We always have envelopes with a pen and paper in them. And in a lot of our surveys, people bring back the surveys, but bronies were the only group where we got pretty much every single one of the pencils back. And in fact, we got, for some of them, we got more pencils back than we gave out, which was really weird. Bronies and sharing and helping, I guess. And then we were at Eurofurence.
What if he took pencils from another stand and gave them to you?
Well, still, they shared.
I don't care. We got pencils, so we profited from it. And then went to Eurofurence a couple weeks ago, and we got about 1,000 surveys back from there as well. So I got lots of data to pour over in these next couple of months.
Yeah, Tell us, did anything cool happen at Eurofurence? Like meeting any cool people?
I met these 2 weirdos who said they were going to put me on their stream or something, and I'm like, who are these weirdos? And I wanted nothing to do with them, but.
They wouldn't leave me alone after the puppet show. The tall one ran over to me.
Oh, see,
this actually did happen after the puppet show. I came over
because I was the one that fanboyed over you first, because I bumped in holy crap, you're here at Eurofurence. And so, if anything, I'm the weird one.
Oh no, we're all weird.
Anything
besides collecting Nuka. Data to paw over.
But
has
Nuka,
anything else cool been happening?
Sorry.
Mostly just if there's anyone here who's been following me for the last few years, some folks said they were going to jump into the stream and watch. But I recently became a professor. So for the last 5 or 6 years, I've had my PhD, but I've been sort of struggling to find a job. And just the last few months, I finally got a professor's job. So I'm doing professor things. Believe it or not, some poor kids this week, I'm their professor, teaching them the psychology of sex, which is...
Wait a second. I could have put professor into the promo.
Yes?
You could have put Dr. Nuka of FurScience, PhD.
Professor.
No.
He's a real professor from Canada.
But I mean, those people, are you going to tell those kids if you're talking about the psychology of sex, are you going to tell them about knots and all that fun stuff included? And then see the psychological turmoil you're going to put all those normies through?
Yes and no. So not specifically.
Oh, okay.
But the last lecture is a surprise lecture. And that's where I drop the furry bomb on them. And I'm like, let's talk about furries. Ooh. And I have a fursuit that I may or may not wear to class just to let the freak flag fly. And let's make it, if it's going to be weird, let's just go whole hog with it, right? So.
Ooh, I would.
Someone had asked if I actually wear the collar to class. I'm like, well, no, I wear the full fursuits occasionally just to squick my students. So.
Ooh, I would love to see that happen. Are you going to
let them know about anatomically correct attachments people can get for their suits?
That I'll probably leave out, mostly because it's more the exception than the rule. I don't want to put false ideas in their heads. So.
Fair. This is a good show already.
Yeah, nailing it. I feel like we're nailing
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Keyframe, anything going on in your life?
There has been. Sorry. I had a weird sleep last night because, let me tell you, you know that furry liquor I talked about on the AWKWARDCast the other week?
Oh, yes, I remember.
Half of them is gone. Not like a full bottle's gone. There's still liquor in it, but I just know that I am not drinking that stuff for a while. Don't you look disappointed in me. I did it for your birthday party.
You mixed both of them together and took them as shots for reason.
Science.
Yeah.
For science.
God damn it.
You guys told me to.
I didn't. Somebody else in the call didn't. I was just like, I was more busy with my own alcohol.
Yeah, so obviously you weren't a good help. But yeah, I had like 2 shots of just pure liquor. And I realized I can handle shots, don't mean I like them. But besides celebrating this guy's birthday yesterday and making the active decision to get drunk at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon and then passing out on my couch till 9 p.m. Hey, sleeping off alcohol is perfectly valid.
That's called a good day.
Besides that, really, it's been life as usual. Having to go to a doctor because, God, I was throwing up a lot in the middle of the week, which was great.
Lovely.
It's according to them, I have nothing wrong with me. It's just stress. Cool. And then annoying.
Have you ever tried to have less stress? You really don't stress so much. I tell you, stop stressing. You are stressing right now. I told you to stop stressing. I see you getting even more stressed while I speak. You should really stop.
Are you a psychologist too?
No, I'm a little shoulder.
He's the reason why people need to go to psychologists.
Exactly. I get commissioned by psychologists.
To real talk though, the way your tone of voice was like inherently making me stressed. Like it's just like it's like I know he's joking.
Oh no!
Part of me feels like he's yelling at me.
Oh no!
It's a very tiny part. It's a very tiny part. Don't worry, I'm laughing about it, obviously. But then besides that, it was me annoying my friends. One of them included by being way too excited about a Vegas trip because I've just been looking up stuff in Las Vegas because I've never been, and I'm like, oh my God! And then I found a fucking place that's called the Stratosphere. And they have rides on the top of the building. And all the rides equate to, we're going to dangle you off the side of the building. And I'm just like, yes. And but my friend Lauren, who I love more than anyone, was like, I saw that on the Travel Channel. We're not going on it. And I'm like, why? They dangle you over the side of the building.
Weren't you just talking about stress? I feel like that's the kind of thing that would create stress.
Oh yeah, I believe
that's California. That says SoCal.
Wait, what? It says Las Vegas at the bottom.
Oh, then why does it say SoCal? That's weird.
Maybe there are different ones in. Whoops, there he goes. Maybe there are different ones in the same video.
Oh yeah, they have a bungee free fall thing there where you just kind of jumped off the building, all the way down to the bottom. You don't get pulled back up.
Okay. Oh, I believe
it's a one-way trip.
Oh yeah, that's one of the dangling over the building rides. It goes faster.
This lady looks very happy indeed.
Yeah, and then there's one that looks chill. Then they have one that's a roller coaster cart, and then all it does is lean down, pushes you off the building, and then back in, and it's like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah, it's just going faster.
Does get stressed. However, if anyone has ever been with me to a theme park or an amusement park in general, you know that I have a weird fucking lust for roller coasters. I love the adrenaline that you feel with that, because that's when you're supposed to feel stressed.
Legit.
I believe I found it.
Oh yeah, God. That. Yeah.
And
down. And then hanging over the building. Oh, I don't want to be the person in the front. That looks like pain.
The person a little bit further back. The people in the front actually seem pretty chill about it.
You don't want to sit in the front because that's where all the puke's going.
That is very true. Oh my god, that is a great point.
But I also have the feeling that it's... I mean, you're just looking over, but besides that, it seems like...
I feel like it's a different experience when you're there.
Oh, it's now a little bit faster, okay.
Oh, I don't like that. Like, I need to do it. But just saying, Las Vegas, the more I research it, the more it feels like a place that was designed by a 5-year-old. Because... there's hotels that literally recreate
that's evil.
Venice, Italy. Like, you go in and they have actual gondolas and like rivers in it that you go on, and then there's one that has like a roller coaster going through the casino, and then it's like, neat. Who invented this place? I know it was mobsters, but I didn't know mobsters were so fun. But yeah, so that's been my life, just looking forward to things and working on things in the present so I can enjoy those things in the future.
Hey!
What about you, birthday boy?
Most highlight of the week, big surprise, was indeed yesterday, my birthday, where I got to hang with this young lady up there and an old friend of mine who actually school buddy and later my flatmate for 3 years or so, is moving to Berlin, as in right now, and he crashed the first night, 2 nights on my sofa, and was there for the party yesterday in person. So I even had people here in real life, not just on the screen. But
Rafi is a treasure. He is so much fun.
You are just saying this because he sided with you in making fun of me.
Oh no, that is totally true. It got to the point that during the call, I just started referring to Rafi as Rafi, my friend, my pal of years, and the tagline kept getting longer and longer of me just calling him like I've known him for decades.
But yeah, we also had like Chuggle and Kichi, and later Brett joined us, and now I probably have to list everybody, not to forget anybody.
The people who were there were Emerald Comet, British Ninja, Kichi, Denim, Yuri, Lucas.
Lucas as well.
Golden joined in, and then we had Rafi. Yeah, so a good party of 8.
But yeah, it was like we started a few hours before it was midnight over here. We had a few drinks, we played a few games, as in golf with friends, and I always forget the name of the other game.
Jackpot Quiplash.
Yes.
And,
Quiplash is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really suck at it because I have no creativity, but it's still fun.
You had creativity with the name you picked since I stole your name in the first game.
Mm-hmm. But actually in the first game I made like 3rd place, which was still fun, but in the last round or something, or the last game, I got like 0 points for 2 rounds straight. Nobody picked my answers. Everybody got more drunk and better at it, and I got worse, and I was like...
All you have to do is make sex jokes, really.
I tried. I really tried.
Yeah, he did unequivocally try. So
an effort was put forth.
An effort was put forth. No one made a pro Jared joke, and so everything was just bad humor.
Yeah, but yeah. Besides that, no, I don't think that anything this week great happen. So let's.
You should show them the present Rafi got you.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me get the.
I mean, you can also show them. You can show them the thing I got you to off balance it.
That's true. I can. Let me see if the.
Because you put Rafi's gift in front of mine.
Very true. Very true. Also, yay!
This is so pathetic because barely any of them are. There we go. That one was on
I
the
think
camera.
I got 2. Yeah.
No, oh, it's hitting the mic. That's lovely.
You are welcome. Mr.
Okay.
And everyone in the room just cringed.
I was not aware that it had this strong of an effect, but I'm very happy with it. No,
You had no realization how fucking loud that was.
apparently no. Okay, okay. Apparently, I got more people than you guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, I can balance this out by showing you this.
Hurting people every week.
This.
You drew blood one of the last episodes. Stop it.
The dab window was too strong. Yes, but yeah. I assume that Rafi actually managed to get this while he was already here and in the same mall as I and secretly bought it. But yeah, he got me happy birthday toilet paper, which is completely not visible thanks to my ring light.
I could see, we can see the under part,
Yes, yeah, the under part is visible, like happy birthday toilet paper. And, well, and another present I got a while back when, doing for your friends when Keyframe was still here, was this emergency ordered gift card.
Oh.
Because the post office fucking sucked, but we explained that story. Yeah. But yeah, it's his persona wearing Blackjack's outfit.
Yeah. And why is my persona wearing a Fallout uniform? Do I tell or do you tell?
You should tell. You are
Okay, it's actually a stand-in for a printed copy of Fallout Equestria.
Yeah, nice. The hardback 4th edition, which they had the bright idea of, hey, let's mail them out during BronyCon, when everyone's not home.
No big deal.
Oh.
Yeah, but the hardback I got is leather, so I am better than you. But no.
Wow.
Well, it's not. I'm not going to be better. Whenever it fucking gets remailed, he'll be the one that's better. But still. But yeah. Anything else? No other stories?
I don't know. Unless you remember other stories that I have that I forgot.
No, I thought you and Rafi would have gone on adventures while he was here.
We kind of went on adventures. We went to the mall where we bought a fuck ton of stuff that we barely ate. We got a little bit of a whipped cream cheesecake. Which I really love, which is one of my favorite cakes. Not knowing that my sister managed to bake a cake and send it to me in the meantime as well, and it arrived yesterday. So suddenly I had 2 cakes, and now
not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, kind of.
When you're someone who doesn't have a sweet tooth like him, like it is kind of a problem.
Yeah,
you have to develop a sweet tooth now.
No, it's. I mean, I have eaten half those this whipped cream cheesecakes before in one sitting, but I also needed to get some nutrition in my system after the drinking yesterday. So
no,
you don't need to. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Huh. Wait a second. In what have you been, a doctor again?
I think your cake levels are dangerously low. That's what I'm saying.
If you eat more of them, you'll become a sweeter person. It's just a scientific fact.
That's just psychology. That's just
continue this.
Have you ever noticed that people eat nothing but pretzels are usually very salty people? You are what you eat.
I mean, I love pretzels and chips and salted peanuts.
Explains.
What I'm saying is, if you have any cake left, this needs to be an ANY Eats Cake stream. I think that's what.
I guess I could.
Are we gonna have a cake eating mukbang? Because I have cake in my freezer. I can eat.
I mean, I guess I can get a little bit of cake, but probably after media, and I guess I can just I can just start with my media.
Yeah.
This way, then I can go and get cake since somebody else is presenting theirs.
Okay.
So. I was hard pressed. I literally only finished my media like an hour before the show, again. good time. In my defense, what?
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because Denim says, Ayan also eats a lot of gummies, and then you told me the story at Euroference about what gummies mean. So I'm just imagining you eating condoms.
They are very tasty, especially when they are fruit flavored. Anyways, you set it up, and now you have to deal with the mental image.
Just because someone sets up the throw does not mean you have to hit it. You can
How long do you know me?
I'm so glad I came to this.
But yes, you were hard pressed to find a media.
No, yeah, to get it done in time, because I'm currently working on chat is still okay. Chat is still reacting.
Thank you for the mental image. Art of the week. Anyone want to draw that?
Oh no! Nobody will be able to draw it within 24 hours. Therefore, I don't have to put it into the. Oh no, Grey is in the. Oh no, Grey Kid is there. Shit! I'm done. No. Anyway, so to distract everybody, my media. I finally finished the second season of The Dragon Prince, and I finally figured out what my problem was with the first season. Mm-hmm. I watched through the second season, and at some point it hit me, and I finally figured out what is broken about this show. Because yeah, it's from the for people who are not in the know, it's by the makers of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is already like oh boy, and you feel a lot of the Avatar stuff in there, and I mean the great and good stuff. You have like deep characters with facets. I mean. Plenty of the villain characters are like gray. You don't have. I mean, the main villain is like as evil as they come, like mustard swirly evil. Even though they try to hint for some kind of misguided intentions, like the doors to hell open with the incantations of good intentions or whatever. Which kind of got dropped after the first 2 episodes of the beginning of the show, but no, there are more evil characters, and they are great. They show care for certain people, while they are scrupulous in other directions. So all the good stuff that's like where you are like, yeah, this made Avatar awesome. But I still had a big issue with the show in the beginning, and it kept being there. It's the dialogue. It's literally only the dialogue. The characters are great on paper. The story itself and the journey they go through is also great, and I would say more on Avatar Last Airbender levels than on Korra levels, which was kind of flawed at times. But yeah, the dialogue is at some points god-awful. I cannot put it better than god-awful. From an emotional point of view, it's great, but there's this one episode. I'm not going into real spoilers. It's just like there's a character who has a letter, and he reads the letter at some point, and it's a very emotional point, and there's some wisdom of the person who sends the letter, and so on and so on. However, this letter was written so fucking plot convenient exposition-y, like yeah. Like no. It was like I sat there and was cringing. About, and this letter went on like for 10 minutes while you had this voiceover, and it fed super perfectly into the situation and whatnot, and like far too convenient, far too unnatural. Like when you take a step back and are like, wait, this fits perfectly right here, right now, but what was going on in the mind of the person writing this? Like the character who wrote the letter, it did not make sense. And that's the problem that Dragon Prince sadly still has in the second season. However, it becomes more and more ignorable as the story itself takes pace, and it develops more and more. The characters get more layers, more interesting shit is happening, and at the end of the day, Dragon Prince. I mean, I believe Denim. I watched it with you back then, didn't I? We might get a reaction in a while in the chat. But yeah, I watched it and I was like super frustrated and annoyed by it and not happy. Today, Dragon Prince earned its sum up on Netflix from me.
Really?
Yes. I would now that I can point what the problem is, it's like, okay, now I can put this problematic dialogue in one compartment and then enjoy the rest of it. And therefore, by now, I can be like, hey, if you are a fan of Avatar The Last Airbender and want to have a completely new universe with completely new mystic systems to explore, now that there are 2 seasons to binge watch, I can highly recommend it.
Good.
Now,
you actually did a decent, not too long, not too short media exposition.
I know, but I still killed the chat and it's silent now.
Oh, well, that's awesome. No, wait, it's not the end of the show.
Oh, no. So who wants to go next? None of you sent me a media.
I did.
Wait, you did?
Chat.
Oh, yeah, a second ago. Very smart.
But I did.
Yeah.
You can't perjure me. But, okay, so the YouTube channel that I'm talking about, because of course this is another episode of Chrissy only watches YouTube and never movies, except for the fact that I watched Into the Florpus like 20 times this week.
You could have talked about that.
What?
Anyway.
I didn't want to talk, a YouTube channel that I recently found through my friends at DA Games is an Australian comedy troupe called Auntie Donna. And we've done nothing in most of our calls recently but put on Auntie Donna and just watch, because it is exactly my type of humor in that it's really stupid. This is one of my favorite videos called Don't Get in the Kiln. And it's basically... Well, yeah, it's about to happen right now.
Doing the opposite of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes, and this is a joke that you think will go stale really fast, but they just do it so well. They also have another video where it's like how to drink wine like a trendy person, and eventually they just end up spitting the wine everywhere before they're like, and now you can drink your wine. But I love their charisma. They are just so... Well, moose. I think the ginger one is Broden, who may be my favorite in that he's always the
straight
frustrated man. He's always the straight man, the frustrated dad or teacher character, which is interesting. This is actually part of a series that they did where they rented out an entire school to do a bunch of these videos, which I absolutely adore, because it's just that extra touch of they're in an actual school doing this shit. Oh my god. But I would recommend them to people who like non sequitur humor, who like stuff like Gus Johnson and generally likes skit-based humor. Because I feel like that's finally making a return onto YouTube, because that was actually the big thing back in the day, and then it died when the algorithm changed and Let's Plays became the big thing. So having a return of these people that do like scripted improvised content like this is a welcome return, and I think Auntie Donna is a lot of fun. I wouldn't recommend it if you're not a fan of, well, I mean, humor is such a subjective thing, but if you're not into like non sequiturs in the sense of people starting to act ridiculous and all that stuff, I don't think you'll be a fan of a lot of their content, because a lot of their content is weird. It is a very weird type of humor. It goes into completely different directions, or it does let's play out a joke for a long period of time with different iterations, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. So if you don't like that, you'll probably not like Auntie Donna. But if you're like me, and you like your humor nice and stupid, you're gonna like Auntie Donna. So yeah, that's my media. I could have talked about Into the Florpus, but I ruined that chance.
Yes, you did.
Watch Into the Florpus.
But then again, half the internet is talking about Into the Florpus, so I guess somebody talking about something else is not the worst.
One thing I do want to say about Into the Florpus that I love is a fact that I learned. So if you watch Into the Florpus, it's a really nice animated special, but there's a couple parts that look really jarring compared to the rest. Like, I think the biggest example is like when you first see the Almighty Tallest and they're like drinking and eating, it looks like they started being animated in Flash. It turns out the reason why there's a couple scenes like that is that when they got the animation back from Korea, it was so bad that they had to reanimate it in-house at Nickelodeon because they were pressed for time. And I'm just sitting here because, I mean, there was only one scene that was like the right before Professor Membrane does like Kamehameha hit thing. The other scenes were just like Dibs sitting in the spaceship and the Tallest eating snacks. So I'm just like, how badly did you fuck up such mundane scenes like that they needed to reanimate the whole thing? What did you do? I want to see these like bad takes.
The outtakes, yeah.
I want to see these bad takes because I'm like, okay, how did you fuck up people eating? How did you fuck up people sitting? Like, I would love to know. But yeah, if you haven't, which... where have you been under a rock or without a Netflix subscription? Watch Into the Florpus. It's really good. But yeah, Nuka, it's your turn while I get cake.
Wait, I didn't get cake, did I? Who?
I'm being put on the spot. I didn't know I had homework.
Wait, did no Key didn't send you the video?
I don't think so.
Okay, but can you spontaneously, on the top of your head, come up with a media you have consumed in recent history, anything, books, music?
My Little Pony stuff, mostly. In particular, I finally caught up and watched Rainbow Road Trip.
Ah, Road Trip. Let me see, I can probably put something up. And do you have something to say about it, which is always an important part?
I was pleasantly surprised with it. I mean, I've always kind of liked the Equestria Girls stuff, but... it never seems like... Oh, wait, Rainbow Road Trip is not Equestria Girls. Sorry. With the movie itself, like the My Little Pony movie, I liked it, but I felt like it was missing something. It was like not quite... It missed something from the show, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I watched Rainbow Road Trip, it captured that like happy feeling that was not quite the movie that I was kind of hoping the movie would be. So I was definitely a fan of that. And the music was great. Yeah, I only recently discovered that it was a thing and watched it this week, and so it felt more like what I was hoping the My Little Pony movie would be. The music was great. It had a genuinely like compelling story. I found myself actually like engrossed in this mystery that was associated with it. I didn't feel like any of the characters were like mischaracterized, like acting really out of character for it. So I liked it, if not just as much as the original movie, maybe even a little bit more. And the new style, I really like the new style. I don't know how other bronies feel, but I really like that new style.
This is the first My Little Pony thing done by the studio that's going to be taking over for Gen 5.
Which is encouraging, because I've been nervous about Gen 5. But I'm like, okay, if the animation is good, at least it's looking like, so.
Yeah, I had the feeling in the first 10 or 15 minutes, like when they were still getting settled up in the balloon and stuff, that it felt slow, not in the sense of skipped frames or anything, but the movement and the energy on
no
the...
spoilers about the final. Sorry, I see someone's posting spoilers about the finale, and I'm like, no. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
No.
A shit post from Odie saying that Starlight's in it.
Okay,
yeah,
Odie.
I literally put my hand up. I'm like, no.
Okay, but yeah, the thing is, we know Odie. Odie is a shit poster. He probably has watched it, but or if he has, then he's no.
I mean, all those leaked episodes were in Dutch, so unless Odie suddenly became trilingual, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
No,
I've just been trying to avoid spoilers for it because, like, I'm finding them. Everyone like, no.
Odie, we fell for it because Nuka doesn't know you yet. See, he did. He is just this kind of person.
So point being, what you were saying, that the thing felt slower, but not like skip frames.
Exactly, the animation itself, but only in the beginning. Or I stopped noticing after a while that then the usual energy and fluidity came into it. That maybe they did it like they spaced out the budget and whatnot, and focused more on the later parts, which makes sense because that's where all the good stuff happens.
I actually felt they got into it pretty quickly. Like it was, I expected it to be this big, 10 or 15 minute long introduction to get to the. There was no like.
Go
ahead.
I'm not talking about the plot actually. I'm really talking about the animation itself. And I was a little bit like, okay, they now use I assume more complex or more 3D-ish than animation than the very flat 2D animation from the show. And I have a feeling that those for the ponies rotating around their own axis and stuff, that they got maybe a little bit less budget because it was not a cinematic release, and therefore they had to cut a little bit off corners, but not in a fatal way, just in a way where in the beginning I had the feeling that they, once again, in the first scene, that I had the feeling that there was less dynamic in it, that I don't know. Or they moved slower.
I actually feel like the animation was an improvement upon using the movie style, because my problem with the animation in the movie is that it's way too smooth. Now let me explain. Animation is not just linear. Oh, okay. Wow, thanks, Max. I'm glad you care. No, animation is not just.
What?
Thanks. I'm glad you care and take a vested interest.
I heard you talk about animation before.
I know, but this is specific. Go get your fucking cake.
Oh, okay. You know what? I unplugged, therefore I can hear you in the kitchen. So.
Okay. Oh yeah, now there's an echo.
Exactly.
I'm getting punished for wanting to be listened to.
Only for 20 seconds.
Okay. Well. Okay. Anyway, so animation is not linear frames.
I don't know. It's some cake too, actually.
Oh my fucking
I'm kidding.
But no, animation is not just linear frames that are 1-1-1 evenly spaced. If you get that, then you just get animation that's like very linear movements, which is not natural, it's not human, it goes into the uncanny valley, so you do spacing. The problem with the animation in the movie is that it was so smooth and eased in and eased out that it felt like everyone was floating. And when they did extreme expressions, it didn't feel like a snap. You didn't get a stretch and a squash. It was just kind of like, and it doesn't feel right. In here, they actually had to do spacing because of budget reasons, and they didn't do shitty, badly CGI'd backgrounds. They actually just had normal painted backgrounds, which is thank you. So I think it looked better than the movie. I also, hot take, I think all the character designs for the side characters in this special are 10 times better than than most of the designs from the movie. Because I still think Tempest Shadow is not really that great of a character design.
Don't listen.
Shots fired.
No,
fan artists make her look better. She's just a glorified red and black OC. If she looks really not good next to the main cast because she wasn't drawn with the main cast proportions in mind. She doesn't even look right next to the princesses who she shares a head shape with. Y'all are just being fanboys because you're thirsty.
Don't listen.
Her Fuffle is a better character design and a much better character than Tempest ever was. Fuck you. But yeah, this is her media. I don't get the rant about animation and ponies anymore, so shut up.
At least you got cake.
But yeah, what else do you have to say about Rainbow Road Trip? Who do you recommend it to?
Bronies.
Well, I'll say not just bronies, but it feels like sort of a throwback to something we see in the first few seasons of the show. Like people who kind of complain that the later seasons kind of lost the thread and it doesn't feel like, like the older ponies. This feels very much like something you would see in the first, couple of seasons of the show. And I really liked it for that. It felt very, very familiar, but there was some novelty to it as well. I also really, really absolutely loved that final song and the video with it. Mm-hmm. What was it? Something about living in color.
Yeah, Living in Color.
I've listened to that song 50 times now. Love it. Love it.
They made wing bling not look gaudy, which I'm just like, you achieved something today.
I cringe when they say wing bling, like, oh no, it's going to be horrible. Then I'm like, oh, actually, it's not terrible.
It's tasteful.
Right?
It actually looks like something they should have done when they did the rainbow power forms in season 4. I gotta stop being salty. I'm letting out a lot of repressed pony analyst stuff now.
You should really get back into pony videos.
I'm picking the perfect time since the finale's on.
Yeah. What better time to start than with the finale?
I have a great idea for that, how you can get around this problem. So you just continue doing it, and you make it simply the theme of the entire thing. Like, hey, I'm coming here talking about it, but it's kind of after the fact, and you should somehow work this into the title of your series.
You know, I was also thinking of a redesign because I think the pony itself is kind of old hack. I should get something mystical and unique, like a hippogriff.
Exactly,
and
since the movie
I really just want to hurt myself. I should not say that.
Nope, you
There's other things to say out of context with a psychologist in the stream.
But no, here's one question before we can move on to Q&A. Do you think this is actually a good introduction to ponies for people? Because given that this is actually the thing that Gen 5 is kind of based in the sense that this is going to be the writing team and all that stuff, do you think this is a good introduction for the pony in general, or do you still think people should just go and watch original G4?
Yeah, I would say if you take anything from the show, anything from the entire MLP Gen 4, and say if you have 1 hour to convince a person to like ponies, this is not bad, right? I say as a way to kind of say, well, what is it all about? I would actually throw to this before I throw to the actual movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't even think of any, usually I have a couple of episodes. I say, go watch this episode, and that'll sort of give you a flavor for it. This movie might be a really good sort of, starting place to get your feet wet, to kind of get your feel for what G4 is all about.
Okay.
I would also agree, like, before, this is definitely a better starting point than the movie. I mean, the movie starts out with vomiting out all the explanations, like, introduce each princess quickly so we have some context before we then remove the princesses and more characters. And here we just have, like, main 6 going on a trip, even leaving Spike behind, so it's really just the 6, and they got to a completely new location, so it's fresh for everybody.
But they each got to be themselves.
The movie was also the Twilight and Pinky hour, so let's face it there.
Because in this one, you get to see a little bit of every character. You get to see what is each character about, what are they like, what is their personality like. No fluff that you don't need to know. Like in what I said in the other movie, here's the princesses, and there they go, and you never see them until like the end. Here's just what you need. This is what you can expect to see, sort of, in a generic episode of Ponies. These kinds of problems, these kinds of characters doing these kinds of things.
Yeah. So, okay, well, we have gone through our media. We completely threw Pony Neutral out of the window.
I'm sorry, you put me on the spot and I panicked.
Oh, no. We put you on the spot a week in advance. But no.
Maybe I forgot that part.
About the media.
Yeah. No, don't worry. It was still fun. I mean, obviously. But now it's time for the Q&A. Did we get anything on Twitter, Max?
Yes, 2. We got 2 on Twitter. We got one from Manga Jack, which was originally like, who's your favorite pony? And then I explained to him that, hey, Pony Crescent, it's the wrong cast since we just talked about Rainbow Road Trip, but I was like, Pony Crescent usually gets skipped. Do you have anything else?
The answer is Twilight Sparkle.
Your answer is wrong. Your answer is wrong.
Well, typically, Twilight Sparkle is the most beloved character among the fandom. We have the data to prove it.
Also, Keyframe, among us scientists, obviously, Twilight
among
is
us non-pretentious people, it's
If you buy our book, we can show you the figures showing that Twilight Sparkle is the most favorited pony. 1% behind her is Luna.
I mean,
because most of the fandom is trash.
Are you talking? God damn it! Where is it? Are you talking about this book by any chance?
I am, as a matter of fact. That book, which is now on sale on Amazon.com.
Oh, then obviously link to this in the description of the YouTube upload.
Yeah. But
no. But yeah, so
the best ponies are obviously Starlight and Pinkie Pie. But yeah, what did they have another question?
Yes. Now we accidentally answered it after all.
I'm sorry, I wrecked everything.
No problem. Do you ever get worried about a stranger due to their comment? And if so, got any example? Do you reach out to them? How can you help?
What?
Due to their comment. I have the
Did you
feeling,
read this question before you picked it?
Do you ever get worried about maybe worried for a stranger, not about a stranger, but for a stranger about their comment?
If they say something dangerous sounding, like they're going to hurt themselves?
And do you reach out to them? I have the feeling because Miles was first like, I want to ask something about depression, but I turned out too depressing, and I don't want to make everybody sad.
Well, I mean, I guess an answer to that is, well, yes and no. I mean, obviously, if you see someone saying, I'm going to hurt myself, or life isn't worth living, I'm going to end it. Yes, I'm going to reach out to them, however big or little I can, of being like, don't do that. That is a long-term solution to a short-term problem. But at the end of the day, they are a stranger and I can only do so much. And also my words would only mean so much because to a lot of people, you are just another faceless profile, you know? But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to go for the effort. But at the end of the day, I would, if there was the most that you could do, try to figure out some kind of basic thing of being like, hey, this person's going to hurt themselves. Get help. You know, like it's a weird position to be put in, but it's also the thing of like, I'm not usually seeking that out. So I haven't had that happen often to me. So I don't have a big frame of reference.
Yeah.
The conundrum so you go ahead anyway. You want to?
Yeah, I mean, let the amateurs answer before then the person who actually knows what he is talking about jumps in. I would also say like it's finding the balance between a lot of people are just, if we are really just talking about a random comment by a stranger, you do not know how this person is. It could just be a drama queen. I don't want to be dismissive. I just point out like you have to figure out. You need to probably, if you have the feeling something is off, then maybe look what else this person has a tendency to post. And if they're usually super happy, and then sometimes you see this kind of drop like, oh, well, it doesn't make any sense anyways. Then maybe that's a red flag and you should really look out. But if it's just somebody who is like, I don't know. But point being, like, if you see something like this and you don't know, just do a careful, like, testing. Like probing, and if you want to help and have the feeling like maybe in a PM, just hey, everything okay. Probably don't make it too public, because if you are publicly responding to it, first of all, if it is really just an attention seeker, they will probably just repeat doing this behavior because it gets them big public attention. But on a PM level, you can maybe just prop and see a little bit behind the curtain easier. And yeah, from there, try to find out if it is something you as a rando can help with a few simple lines. And if not, well, as Keyframe said, try to make them get help real life.
Yeah, I run into this a little bit because I'm a psychologist, but I'm not a clinical psychologist. I'm going to frame this entire thing by saying this is not what I do for a living. But because you hear the title psychologist, people will come up to me at conventions when I'm doing research and say, hey, can I tell you about my depression? Or hey, can I? And that's a really weird spot to be put into, because I'm sort of being asked to, you don't want to say, no, go away, kid, but at the same time, there's this professional obligation. I can't represent myself as something I'm not. I guess the best thing I can do in those situations is say, hey, look, it's not that I don't care. It's not that, no one cares. I'm not qualified. I'm not in a position to offer you what you might need. If what you need is to just sort of talk or vent to someone for a few minutes, hey, sure, fine, I can do that, but I don't have any answers. I can't do therapy. I can't, and no person should be, right? It's not there's no onus upon any person to suddenly become someone's therapist. But what you can do is perhaps be hey, if you need to talk to someone, if you have the time and if you have the sort of resources to do so, fine, talk to this person. If not, don't underestimate even just saying, hey, look, if you need to talk to someone, there are people available to you. Here's a link to a hotline. Here's a link to counseling services. Here are people who are professionals at doing this, right? If you've got some kind of virus or some kind of infection, you go to a doctor, you go to a hospital. This person is having a real mental health crisis. Encourage them to go see
to a doctor.
People.
Yeah.
Take the stigma out of going to see a psychologist or going to call one of these helplines where they can talk to people. Because the last thing you want to do is be an amateur and talk to this person and say or do the wrong thing. That said, more often than not, the studies seem to suggest that talking to a person with this stuff will tend to do more good than harm. Right? People kind of get afraid and say, if I say the wrong thing, they're gonna. And more often than not, they just need to talk to someone, right? And if you feel like that's you, okay, you can try to talk to them. But again, in all these contexts, encourage them to go to the experts, go talk to someone, go call a helpline if they need to.
Yeah, thanks, Miles. That was a great first question.
Well, yeah, he warned us that it might be a bummer. So what is the Discord offering?
The Mad Lad, who is also a wolf, says, I forfeit my FMK for Enigma's FMK. However, I do have a would you rather. Ask Awkward, would you rather be the conjurer and controller of all snakes or the conjurer and controller of all spiders? Basically, you're Aquaman with either snakes or spiders.
First of all, already loving. I'm not sure if with the would you rather if this catches on, but I in general want to just be like, hey, great idea for coming up with a new format for questions. So that's already good, Wolfhead. But yeah,
it doesn't answer the question.
No, it doesn't. I just want to point out to anybody out there, whoever feels the desire to send us questions and come up with a stick. This is now the second time that Wolfhead came up with a stick, so just pointing it out and giving credit where credit is due. But yeah, Nuka, as a guest.
As a doctor.
Snakes or spiders, and why?
I would say snakes. I feel like if we're going for just raw power, like killing ability, I feel like snakes are going to get you a lot. For a snake army will get you a higher body count than will a spider army. A lot of spiders can't really do much of anything to people, aside from a handful of venomous ones. I feel like snakes are going to get you further in the long run. If we're going just raw killing power, there's all kinds of other considerations, but yeah, if I want an army of them, that's what I'd go for.
Nuka, you forget about showmanship, performance, and what is more performance?
I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah,
so, Keyframe, what is your answer?
Spiders.
Why?
Why? Because I hate spiders. So, here's the thing. I would hate them less if I was the one controlling them.
Or if you hate them, you can control them to all go away from you.
Also true.
Exactly. The thing is, I would control them, and I would get them away from my home, like a good 500-yard radius away from my home at all times. And then, if I'm annoyed with someone, that old wives' tale that you swallow like 100 spiders in your sleep in your lifetime. I'm gonna make that not an old wives' tale for the people who annoy me.
That's just gonna happen in one night.
I'm gonna visit Max, and he's going to annoy me, and I'm gonna go into his room when he's asleep, put my hand out, and then spiders just going down his mouth. All really tiny ones, so it wouldn't activate his gag reflex.
Not until about 50 or 100 spiders in.
Yeah. Until he kind of wakes up, sees a person standing over his bed with spiders coming out of my hands. And then it's like, you're dreaming? Go back to sleep. But I would pick spiders. I feel like that would just be more fun, especially if I could just make the image of hundreds of spiders running down the street.
So I guess you're gonna be the tiebreaker here.
Yeah, that's the thing now. The tiebreaker.
No pressure or nothing.
No pressure at all. I could see a fun concept for this. So there are 3, and you can pick, and you should not pick what the other ones have. So would you rather 1, 2, 3? And I would have to do what's left. But okay, now I have to be the tiebreaker. Spiders have two connotations for me. We first have the old Doug Walker joke, like, what about spiders? So you would basically be that thing. So congratulations to this keyframe. But
you don't become a blue Doug Walker trying to be.
It doesn't specify in Wolf's question if there are any side effects of being the main conjurer of spiders or snakes.
Maybe decided. Well, look, he said it's like Aquaman, and Aquaman became hot recently.
Yeah, recently.
So I could, yes, but we're in the new millennium, man. I could just become a hot spider chick.
This is Spider-Gwen. This is already taking the job. But yeah, but there's also the little creepy boy from Naruto with who has his face hidden and the sunglasses and who has bugs all in his body and can spread them out, and which is still creepy. So I probably will just go with Snake simply for not being associated with the creepy boy from Naruto or the spider guy. So
then if you are with snakes, you would get associated with every snake-like thing. Yeah. You would be you constantly walk around people with
Slytherin.
We're not a Slytherin.
Yes, no, but that's the thing. The Sorting Hats takes personal preferences into account. This is canonically confirmed before JK went mad with weird random bits of canon. So, and I mean, what else is somebody who can speak parcel mouse than a snake conjurer? So, you're welcome.
It's science. Just saying.
Okay, Nuka, you can't just end everything with it's science and then it's suddenly science.
I can because I'm a doctor.
And a professor.
And giving me a PhD was the most dangerous thing they ever did because I'm a doctor.
You need to have business cards that say Dr. Nuka, and on the back it says PhD. There's nothing else. There's no contact information or anything. It just says, I have a PhD. Yeah. I am right.
Hey, what was the idea for a business card you guys wanted to give me yesterday?
Oh, wait. What was it? It was something like...
A&Y. Genius.
Yeah, just blank white business cards.
Just
A&Y. Genius. Genius should be misspelt.
With a J. And it should be the plainest text ever, like Times New Roman font, small, unimpressive.
Comic Sans.
Hello, I'm a genius. Did you know?
It's just it's like, here's my card. Genius? No, genius. Okay, well, thank you, Enigma. That was a good question. Did you have any other questions on Twitter, or were they both Miles?
I have another one on Twitter. From York. For all three, what show do you hate the most and why? Oh, I got all the Happy Sunshine questions on Twitter today.
God. I mean, what show have I had a visceral, angry reaction to, I guess? I just was like, I had no fun watching this.
Exactly. Or maybe something you can recall rage quitting. I guess that would also make a fun answer.
I need to think about rage quitting, but if I had to pick disappointing.
One you hate most.
While I think of a ragey one. Before I think of a ragey one, disappointing would probably be Tricky's not the call. 101 Dalmatian Street. I want it to get better. There's stuff about it I like, but I'm just kind of I feel so underwhelmed watching more and more of it.
Yeah, we need to continue watching it, but yes. So what we have watched of it so far was a little bit
Because I watched some clips out of place, so I think I have an idea when the show gets good. Because most shows nowadays, it gets really good when an arc is introduced, I guess. So I've seen things and that hyped me up. And then I watched the show and I was like, wow, this is a really slow burn. Is this how people felt during season 1 of Steven? Because, but yeah, so that's kind of my thing right now. I think the show I rate, yeah?
Also, Keyframe, I have the feeling that Brett and or Kichi are watching 4K porn again. Because your connection is kind of getting the quality is dropping and even the audio quality.
I don't know why. I swear Taylor's playing D&D right now, and that's the reason why I'm going to be mad. But no, I think like my ragey option, I can't really think of one. I think I just have, because I still watch through most shows, I think Riverdale is a show that I've yelled out, this is so stupid, but then I blame myself because I continue watching.
I mean, Riverdale is the kind of like, you don't hate it. You enjoy watching it for this perverted, like, oh my god, kind of thing.
It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. Exactly. You can't look away.
But the question was specifically for hate.
I don't really have a hate one. Most of my things are disappointments, unless it pops up like near the end of the show and I'm like, wait, this!
I mean, disappointment also counts, I would say. But yeah, a general negative emotion, and not like,
rage.
Not like Riverdale, where you are like, oh god, I gotta see where this train wreck is going.
I mean, I rage quitted halfway through Torchwood. Does that count?
This was a hard to watch show. That's true.
Yeah. Your guys' answers.
So apparently your memory has already suppressed Super Drags.
Oh, fuck! Yeah, that show! That show was also 5 episodes, so of course I don't remember it anymore. Yeah, that show's awful. I hate it. It wasted an actually creative art style. This show, it was so bad. Why do you bring that memory
You're
back
welcome.
to my head?
Because this is a reaction that York probably wanted to see. You're welcome, York.
Why did you remember that?
Because I was on Netflix looking for inspiration for my own answer, as always. By the way, guys, the question obviously also goes out to everybody watching. What is your hate on the show?
Responding real quick to chat, Luigi Man, you've never been more wrong about anything ever.
What did he say?
Sonic Sat AM, which was fucking amazing.
Maybe he means the other one? The not Sonic Sat AM?
Yeah, maybe it means the not. Yeah, the other one was crap, but Sonic Sat AM was amazing.
Still haven't watched it.
I grew up on that. I absolutely grew up on that.
So, okay. Do I have an answer? I probably also... now Keyframe isn't here to remind me of my personal rage shows, because I'm probably having them and also have suppressed my memory about them. So yeah, what I really... I mean, you could maybe say the massive drop in quality of Voltron that left me like, I was so fucking hyped for the first 2 seasons and I loved it to bits, and then it just... how it trickled out, and how the finale of Voltron left me like feeling so disappointed and empty, and I was like, I mean, I believe I only watched the last season out of completionism at this point.
That's how you know a show is good, when you're just slogging through the ending of it.
Yeah, exactly, because you own it to it because of, what's it called, fallacy,
sunken cost fallacy.
Yes, exactly, because you have sunken cost fallacy, and you feel it, and on top of it, you feel that you own it to the first 2 seasons that were brilliant. Or can you recall any other rage show I had, Key?
Not really. I know that I've been around when you watch shows and you're just like, like annoyed at them, but again, we're both completionist type people. I don't remember us rage quitting during a show at any point. But also, Fangin. If you want to ask a question, you have better luck putting it on Twitter or going in ANY's Discord.
But now that you've seen it, it's mean to ignore it.
No, it's been scrolling up and it's a big question. So
okay, fair.
And the chat's actually being active. So.
Oh, and Nuka has not yet answered. So.
Yeah, so answer your question, Nuka. I was just letting him know to get into Discord or something.
I saw most of the questions, so I could probably... I think it was for me anyway, so I could probably wing that question after this.
Oh.
Yeah, but So what's your hated show?
So I don't have a specific one, but I have a genre in general that I hate. And it's the interface of 2 genres that I hate. So I really, really can't stand reality show in general. I can't stand anything reality. I think it's garbage. Mm-hmm. I'm also not a fan of cooking shows. Not that I don't like cooking, but I think that it's taken way too seriously. It's giving way more, like, oh my god. So when you combine reality shows and cooking, and I've seen a few of these, and there's these like...
MasterChef and
yeah, where it's like some competition. The person goes on the show for 45 minutes like, I'm sorry, but you've been eliminated. And the person, and they try to make it so dramatic. I'm like, what is this nonsense?
Oh, no.
What is this utter
frosting didn't set.
Yeah, and they make such a big deal. They dun dun, the drums kick in. So, and I'm like, why? Who watches this crap? So
obviously people, because they air new ones every week.
Yeah. Yeah. So cooking shows overlapping with reality shows. All crap.
But yeah. So question for Nuka: what has your science discovered about subcultures, furry here, and their populations tending to have high social awkwardness outside their groups? And why do some subcultures, sports, etc., have far less social awkwardness?
Good question. So we don't have a good why on it, but we can say that there is a little bit more social awkwardness in sort of our furry research and our brony research or anime research. We can also say that of the different groups we studied, anime fans score higher than both bronies and furries in terms of social awkwardness. We think it probably has a little bit to do with, so our research shows that furries and bronies tend to have this history of being picked on and bullied. Anime fans to some extent too. They tend to be a little more ostracized. They don't quite fit in school as much as the other kids do. And so one of the things that happens when you have this growing up a little ostracized is you don't develop social skills to the same extent. So you don't have as much experience interacting with people and having that trial and error and learning what works and what kind of falls flat. And so as a result of that, we think that a lot of furries and a lot of bronies and to some extent anime fans come into the fandom, 17, 18, 19 years old without the kind of experience that you might have gotten from going through junior high and high school, with this give and take and trying out and learning through experience what is socially awkward and what's sort of normal. So I think that's one of our guesses as to where it's coming from. We want to do more research on it, but yes, we can say that furries and bronies are not as awkward as anime fans. Sorry to throw you under the bus, anime fans, but numbers are numbers.
But I am all three.
You're not allowed to call yourself an anime fan, Mr. I had never watched Evangelion.
I was just going to say Evangelion's my favorite.
Wait, I have watched Evangelion.
You said you didn't watch it in anime trash. You said you didn't watch it.
No, this wasn't me. You're confusing me with somebody else in my server.
No, you said...
Somebody said this recently.
You said, oh, wait, okay, it says Demon Slayer. I apologize.
Yes.
We were talking about Evangelion right before it, so
somebody actually said they haven't watched Evangelion yet.
Well, that person is not allowed to say they're an anime fan. But just saying to people, sports fans are very awkward because obviously they must have some kind of inferiority complex that they make fun of every other fandom. But yes,
there's research, not to get like super technical now, but I'll say there's research showing that the sports fans are typically considered the default fan in the average person. When you say fan, first thing people think of is sports fans, and because of that, the further you stray from sports fan as a prototype, the more people assume the worst about you as a group. So sports fans kind of have this privileged position of being the defaults. They're sort of the norm. So people don't expect awkwardness from them, which doesn't mean they can't be awkward, but they get a lot more leeway for, hey, I got to paint my face, and that's totally normal. But a furry, puts on a fursuit and they're weird, right?
Oh yeah, I'm just shooting the piss because so much of my family are diehard sports football fans, and I'm just like, and you make fun of me. But yeah, okay, but back to questions here. We have a birthday related one.
Oh boy.
From unoriginal nickname.
This is Odie, I assume?
Yes, it's Odie. Happy birthday to the man on the call. What was your and your co-host, and I assume also guests, worst birthday experiences? What is your traumatizing birthday memories? I have answers, but I'm gonna let the birthday boy go first.
That's a sad thing. I probably don't have any. Even the ones that might some people consider bad memories have been fun memories. So
did you ever get injured at a birthday? Yeah. Did you ever get injured at a birthday party?
It's sad because I couldn't answer the question. No, I did not get injured to my own memory at a birthday party. I mean, I had one party. I was celebrating at my parents' house, and at some point suddenly the police were standing inside the living room. But they were chill about it. We're just like, yeah, please keep the music a little bit quieter. But it was also the most fun party where we danced the most and shit. So I'm not complaining. So
all right. Well, I guess your answer is nothing.
Yeah, my last 2 birthdays, I actually had to work on my birthday, but it was big releases and it was fun and challenging. So I was cool with that too. So yeah, I have no specific really bad and horrible birthday memories. Sorry, cannot answer.
Privileged boy.
I know, right?
Get some bad memories. Christ, grow a beard. But no,
I can throw mine in if you want, because you sound like I want to end on a good one. You sound like you got a real good story. Mine's very mediocre. So.
Okay, please tell. We need to build it up.
Yeah, so I don't have like a super bad one, but I have a super lame one. My 18th birthday, that's like the big one. I spent my 18th birthday playing StarCraft in my basement by myself.
That sounds awesome.
I'm like, I had fun, but there was no drinking, there was no partying, there was no friends. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm playing StarCraft. And
I have 3 great stories. One was, I think, my 13th birthday. All my family members got drunk and they took me to go see Rango, and everyone fell asleep at the movie theater except for me. That was fun.
I mean, they took you to the theater, so...
Yeah.
Did you have to drive them all home?
I was 13. I couldn't drive.
Yeah, that would have made for a worse birthday story.
This is why we are asking if you had to.
No, they drove.
Oh.
That was when I realized the finality of life. Let's see. I had... 2 of them are from when I was a young child. One is that we went to a petting zoo. So I must have been like 4 or something. And I was wearing little overalls, and I put like the bottle to feed the goat in my pocket while I was giving them feed. And then I was chased by a bunch of goats. And I couldn't rub the 2 brain cells that I had as a 4-year-old together to realize, maybe I should take the bottle out of my back pocket.
And then you became a furry.
Oh.
The things the goats did to you, they changed you forever.
No, ooh, but no. And then my favorite one was back, when you went into like preschool, kindergarten, that stuff, you would bring like cupcakes or whatever into the class for your birthday. And we did. And one kid, what was his name? Oh yeah, his name was like Derek or something. So Derek ate like half of the cupcakes because the teacher wasn't looking, and then threw up on me.
Oh, okay, we have a winner.
That wins. Yeah.
I was wearing like a nice outfit, like a nice birthday outfit, because that's what my parents did when I was little, because they wanted me to be a pretty.
Yeah, it was a pretty spring dress. After that experience, you never could wear dresses again.
No, I mean, maybe that was the moment I became a tomboy. I was like, you know what? Maybe there's just better security in this.
Fuck dresses.
I don't. Hey, when you don't want to wear pants. Ew, oh shit, that's gross. Yeah, try being the one experiencing it.
And so the worst part is that was at school. So like, what do you do for the rest of the day? Like, you did, unless you had to happen to have a change of clothes. Like, are you just?
They had to call my parents to bring me a change of clothes, and I just kind of looked at the nurse and was like, "Can I go home?" And then they let me go home. So hey, I got to get off school on my birthday.
Well, you ruined it. Now you have a positive story. It turned into a positive story.
Haven't we learned? Most of my stories are depressing, but they have some kind of resolution.
There's a silver lining. That silver lining.
It's a silver lining. Most of it comes decades later, but there's a silver lining nonetheless. But thank you for your question on original nickname. Let's see. Ooh, one from Denim. let's do some old school psychology. Rorschach test time. What do you see?
Oh, no.
Pull it up. Is this another one from Fallout?
Or is this just... sure.
No, this is an actual Rorschach test. This is an actual legit test.
I mean, I believe they used actual ones in Fallout 2, in Fallout New Vegas in the very beginning.
Yeah, they actually do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to go with first impressions for the projective test.
Yes. Well, okay, I have my first impression, but Doctor, you go first.
It actually, because I'm teaching a psychology of sex course, I'm looking at a lot of anatomy recently. It looks like the pelvic bone. It looks like a female. Hip bone, pelvic bone area is what I'm seeing. So that's just my off the cuff first impression. That's what I see.
Well, this makes it weird what I'm seeing in it.
What are you seeing?
I do not know what it reminds me of, but some kind of mask. Like it's a mask with string. I don't know from what it is. I know that there's a specific mask I have in mind from a show or a game or whatever.
I mean, isn't it kind of like the mask that looks like a crow's beak that
Plague Doctor mask
back in the day?
No, actually not the Plague Doctor mask. I don't mean actually now I see the peak.
Yeah, see what I mean.
The mask that I originally saw was really like a flat mask in front of your face that has like things going off from it, like
a witch doctor.
Yeah, something like this. So maybe I'm thinking Hot still has a differently shaped mask, doesn't he? Nazebo, yeah. But so I primarily saw this mask. I think more of an alien, I believe, some kind of alien voodoo mask. But this was my first impression, and now those two combined first impressions make basically a voodoo mask made out of the hip bone of a woman. But please add your first impression to the mix, and let's see what happens.
My first impression is that there are two showgirls with their backs and kind of like they're doing a dance, so they're kind of having their backs and butts next to each other, and then you have like the little flip leaf thing on the top is kind of like the headdress that they would have, and it's kind of like a picture that has the motion blur, so you see the different positions of the leg as they're doing like a kickstand.
I get it.
Yeah, because you could see like there's like the boob area up here, and then you have the legs and the really tiny waist, and then the that part can be like arms or a ponytail because showgirls usually dress uniformly. I had two answers were based off women and one is a mask. So what is the collective here? So it is a mask made out of the hip bone of a woman, and that woman was a showgirl.
So it happened to be a showgirl, yeah.
Makes sense to me.
I'm glad that you guys kind of see it too when I explained it, because I was like, am I weird?
That was a good job explaining it.
Yeah, but okay, so next question. We didn't get a lot, but we got a good amount. Let's see.
Over quality over quantity here.
Exactly.
Yeah. We've had a lot of quantity over quality at some points in this show, but these are quality. Let's see. Okay, from Magical Dude. Another birthday-themed question. What has been the most favorite present you've ever gotten?
Does it have to be a birthday present, or?
Yes, we have to narrow it down to birthday presents. Mine isn't an actual physical thing, so I don't know if it counts, but it was being called technically a birthday present, so it was this year when Max took me to tropical islands, and he messaged me on Skype like right before I came, being like, "This is your birthday and Christmas present. I hope you realize this."
You're not getting anything else.
And I was like, "I don't ask for anything else. You're taking me there and letting me eat your food. That is the best present you could ever give me." And it was one of the most fun birthdays I've ever had. So I count that as my favorite.
Now I'm on the spot again.
Well, Nuka looks like he's on the spot too, so.
No, I'm looking this up really quickly. Just give me a second. Continue on.
And yeah, chat, you guys could say what your favorite presents have been, so. Share the love of gift giving, except for people who don't like gift giving.
Well, I guess I can. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go?
Please go ahead.
Stall for him, please.
So it's kind of a weird present, but it was like one of those super, like it was so thoughtful that it was like incredibly considerate for me. It was. I'll just go get it. Give me a second, and I'll go get it.
Okay, we'll entertain. Hey guys, are you entertained? I guess we can dance.
I see a flattened, murdered Rainbow Dash.
Oh my god! It's perfectly right.
Okay.
Seeing the fuller picture, I actually realized it's really a flattened Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, it is. It's stretched across it.
Oh,
this is my Sweetie Belle.
Now, I love the Friendship is Witchcraft series.
Oh.
And my friends kidnapped my Sweetie Belle plushie. And unbeknownst to me, they put a voice chip in her.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweetie Bot.
So I think I'm one of the only people in the world who's got like a plushie who actually does Sweetie Bot things.
Nice.
So.
That's actually really cute.
Oh.
Why am I in the water?
But it was great because I forgot. I have so many plushies. I didn't notice that she had been kidnapped. And then like months later, they're like, oh, by the way, happy birthday. And I'm like, I already have a Sweetie. Wait a minute, where's my Sweetie Belle plushie? And then like squeeze her leg. I'm like, oh my god.
That's actually really sweet. It was worth the kidnapping.
Exactly.
Okay, enough stalling.
So my favorite birthday present is something I got recently this year. So I bought myself those noise-canceling headphones yesterday, and I'm really happy with them. Next question.
Okay.
I'm going to get murdered. I don't know. I don't want to pick a favorite. I had nice presents, but I also don't want to mix up birthday presents and Christmas presents and then being like, you never got this for a birthday. So...
What, do you think I'm going to be a stickler and be like, that wasn't a birthday present?
Yes, I do.
I'm not that mean.
Also, the downside of being not good with receiving presents is that I am also not good with putting them in, remembering them properly and doing them justice.
Wow, okay, cool.
I'm just digging myself deeper, aren't I? There's a fun. Yeah. There's a new question that appeared on Twitter from Rix, which reads, Nuka, what is one of your most awkward experiences at the various cons you have worked or attended, other than some stranger ripping your Nat Geo interview to shreds?
Oh, that's easy to rip the Nat Geo interview into shreds. I was terrible in that one. I won't defend it right now. We don't have time for that. But I can talk about that later if folks want. No, the most awkward one. I don't know if I should tell this story or not.
Yeah, just keep the name. Just change the name for the sake of anonymity.
All it says I was at a convention. I was at a convention, and I was sort of approached by a number of folks who were into a particular paraphilia, particular unusual sexual preference. And there were 3 or 4 of them, and they didn't corner me. There's no force or whatever involved, but they definitely sort of came up to me and said, we need to talk to you for a second. And I'm like, there's 4 of you, and I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And then they proceeded to talk my ear off for an hour about way more detail than I needed to know about their particular fetishes, and I was like, okay, I don't need to. Okay, we're still going with this.
And did they have any question, or was it just sharing? And because
they wanted me to. They were like, oh, you need to study this more. I'm like, and they continued. I'm like, I really don't need to know. We're still going with this and details and pictures. I'm like, please stop. Please, no more.
I'm trying to think of which one it is because I have 2 in mind and they're both.
I'm not going to go any more specific than that.
Fair, absolutely fair.
Can I type it in the chat and you can just say yes or no, the private Skype chat?
We don't.
Perhaps afterwards we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to know.
But yeah, I don't want to mention anything else. Suffice it to say, one of the problems of being a psychologist is people love to come up to you and tell you just everything, and I'm like, I would be better off not knowing that about you sometimes.
Oh well.
We don't.
Yeah, that's definitely awkward.
Yeah, we don't kink shame. But
I don't. I absolutely
no.
People being into what they're into.
Yeah.
But I don't need to have 4 people corner me and talk at me for an hour about it with pictures and.
I'm not going to judge you if you like crotch tits, but don't put it on my feed. You know, like.
Don't corner me at a con and.
Yeah. First of all, don't corner people at cons anyway.
Yeah, in general, don't.
In general. But specifically for that purpose.
I mean, I study people, so it's people kind of assume that that's what I want to hear is to be cornered and have them tell me everything. But
and while you're already on fire, Keyframe, what's your most awkward con experience?
So many of them are awkward in the worst way possible. Let's see.
This guy who came up to you at Eurofurence and was like, "I'm a huge fan." And
I mean, no. The most okay, no, I'm gonna knock one of them off because one of them wasn't awkward. That was just assault. So.
Okay.
Y'all ain't gonna hear that story, but it's a story from the same one. I did this inflatable obstacle course at BronyCon while I was wearing a Lapis Lazuli cosplay, and the back undid itself, so I fell to the ground so I could not be basically flashing everyone. So they were like, "Are you okay? You're just on the ground." Fine. Just trying to tie something up before
Don't draw attention to me, please.
Please, I just
want to help you? Everybody, come by. This lady is on the floor and she seems to have a problem. Quick, somebody pick her up. She seems to be hurt. No, don't pick me up. Don't pick me up.
Just let me lie here, and then I can go and finish the obstacle course and have A&Y laugh that he won. So yeah, that was probably the most awkward in the sense of that. I mean, there was also a time that there was this one. It was at Nightmare Nights that this one guy kept trying to find our hotel rooms. Oh yeah, you remember that one, don't you? And like Kichi and our friend Robin had to scare him away. When you have Robin 0928 scare someone away, it's like, God, that's sad. But that was interesting because that was my first experience of someone trying to follow us, and it's just like, that's creepy. And like at that same con, there was also a kid who he passed out or had a seizure while we were recording something in one of the con rooms, and we were just like, well, we have to wait here. I hope he's okay.
Poke him with a stick.
That was still at Nightmare Nights. We were recreating shots from TF2, and then suddenly someone in the corner just falls to the ground, and it's like, okay.
Are you saying you could have used a doctor?
Medic!
Nuka? Yeah, that didn't help. I was stress tested. Okay. Next question. Wait,
I didn't hear A&Y. No.
Oh yeah, Max. What's an awkward experience?
It kind of dawned on me that when I dragged you into it, Key, that I would be on the
So come on. What's something that you've experienced?
Since we're talking about awkward, I guess it counts. Something from recent BC. So there was, not naming names, but there was a person I had to put in their place a while ago online because they were dumb. And they were also stubborn, so I had to show some of my more nastier sides to get them back in line. And now I'm actually not talking about Christian. Christian was actually very... I only spoke a sentence with her when we ran into each other at BC, so... the said other person, I had the feeling... I saw him multiple times during the con, and I have the feeling he saw me too, but he always disappeared to the point where he actually was in this very long sign-up line for TF2. And... he made it to the front. I even saw him in video footage. He made it to the front line, so he must have spent like an hour or so in this line. But then he never came by, so he disappeared. And I have the feeling that he was really avoiding me. I mean, then again, he knows that I'm in TF2. I'm not sure what he did expect to happen.
Yeah, what do you expect?
And the thing is, because I had noticed him already, I was like, I would just be professional about it, sign the thing, say, hey, how's it gone, and don't confront him. But apparently, the previous confrontation we had was still lingering. I don't know. Or maybe he just really needed to go to the bathroom or whatever, and... I'm just making this up in my head.
When nature calls, that's exactly. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, or maybe I'm just making up in my head. I don't know, but this was kind of awkward to witness how he then suddenly disappeared again.
That is weird. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. Let's see. We have one more, and then we can get to our good old favorite section of the show.
Yeah.
Because I really like the one that Enigma asked. I mean, unoriginal nickname, the spookiest stuff you had to deal with while trying to sleep is good. Save it for next week because you already got one. Since we have a legitimate psychologist with us on the podcast.
That is always the most dangerous start to a question.
I know,
You're
right?
a psychologist. Let me ask you something. Oh, no.
Can you isolate the awkward element that these two co-hosts seem to radiate every week and extrapolate it?
Who is asking that?
Enigma.
God damn it.
Yeah, so please, psychoanalyze us, Nuka. What makes us so awkward?
Just for context, to clarify, you have not watched the show before?
I've not, admittedly. Okay. I've seen you both before, like on other things.
Yeah, just knowing us.
Yeah, so from your experience in the last 1.5 hours, plus the
other stuff I've seen
the written chat and so on. Please analyze us.
I mean, I don't. So what was the exact wording of the original question? So it was analyze.
Okay, no, it's
isolate
Can you isolate the awkward element these two co-hosts seem to radiate every week and extrapolate it?
I mean, so I'll say that it's fanship. It's you're high in a particular fan. You're high in fan culture. You have particularly strong. You're giving me more to work with here.
I'm ready to deal with it.
No, it's your fans. You're high in fan culture, and I feel like if you're in that particular fan culture, it's cool. It's kind of funny. It's you're with it, and if you're outside of it, it's cringy or it's weird or it's unusual. That's not unique to furries or bronies or anime fans or anything. Go to an Insane Clown Posse concert and you see a whole bunch of people acting weird and you go, wow, what a bunch of freaks and weirdos. But within that community, you're following the norms. You're following the trends in that community. So I think that you're just fans of particular things and you're very passionate fans about those things. I don't think there's anything bad about that. It comes across, though, as awkward to people who aren't in the know, to people who don't understand the norms of these communities. That would be my...
See, here's my answer. It all started when I was born. But no, I mean, that actually seems like a really decent answer as people who kind of spent a lot of formative time on the internet, or at least have had the internet soaked up like a sponge. So
I mean, my answer or reaction to all of this...
It better not be... He paid money for that.
Money well spent, I might add.
I know.
I mean, I'll say
I need to get Amber's to do one of mine.
Do the reaction of
No, oh my God, that should be it. We have that, and then I have this.
Facepalm. The Picard facepalm.
Nuka, you genius. You need the genius business cards.
A doctor. if I could add one more.
Dr. Genius.
Yeah.
One last thing to that, which is a very dangerous thing I'm going to add, but I'll do it. Having studied like 25,000 bronies and about 30,000 furries and spent my formative years on 4chan, I'm surprisingly hard to shock. Like, people always say, oh, let me tell you about how weird I am. Let me tell you about how awkward I am. Let me show you like the strange thing. I'm like, I can guarantee you probably will not tell me or show me something that will make me go.
I don't like that he's searching for something.
Something to totally shock him and show him how weird I am.
You probably won't, though. It's
probably not.
Yeah, everyone's convinced that they're going to be the weirdo that ruins my survey.
I had a very passive-aggressive answer to you trying to find something to shock. But I'm not going to say it because then I'll sound like the bitch. I was going to say, maybe you can find a present that you could say was one of your favorites. Maybe that'll actually to show you have some fucking empathy. Sorry. I'm playing. But no. But, I mean, yeah, 4chan changes, yeah.
Yeah,
changes,
and it leaves you realizing that you are just too mentally adjusted to have a fun answer.
I'm sorry.
No, I am sorry. I'm too mentally adjusted.
I thought you said I didn't have a fun answer.
Y'all need to get mentally unhinged, like
exactly.
Me. Hi. Okay, so we are at our favorite part of the show, the final part of the show. This time provided by Enigma, because Mad Lad forfeited it. Ask Awkward. Most of humanity has now been born from recent times in one form or another, and these times most certainly had their ups and downs. Let's see which time frame gets what with another edition of Fuck, Marry, Kill. The 1980s, the 1990s, and the 2000s. Let the decades of dicking and the millennium masturbating commence. I'm proud of you, Enigma. That millennium masturbating is great. Claps for Enigma. That was good. Oh, come on. He deserves more than one clap. Give him one more. Okay, fuck you. Anyway, Nuka, our guest, our buddy, our pal. Fuck, marry, kill. The 80s, the 90s, or the 2000s?
And why?
And why? Think about why. Okay. Fuck will go the 80s, in part because they had like the best rock music ever. Got to give it to the 80s for the music, and I think, sex and drugs and rock and roll kind of go together, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
True.
By default, with the last two, I have to go with Marry the 90s, because I think Marry the 2000s, I think they're not all legal yet, so I got to be a little careful about that.
You're turning it on the people of
Yeah. So sorry, but yeah, I gotta do that. It's 2000s I gotta kill, and the 90s by default I have to marry. So sorry, not sorry.
I am not putting that caveat in mine, because that does so many bad things.
I love this interpretation.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll go
professional.
Next. Wait, yeah, it's science.
It's science. It's just.
But let's see. What would I do? You just have wine in a beaker, like, yes, I'm cultured. Here's the thing. I can't say that I would kill the 90s because I was kind of born in the 90s. So wouldn't I kill myself?
I mean, it's more about the decade, what the spirit of it is and what it embodies.
Oh, okay. Well, I would probably marry the 1980s, because most of my favorite things and my favorite people are from the 80s.
Which are not already from the 60s, I take it?
Well, yeah, but also the real life people that I know, a lot of them were born in the 80s.
There are people in real life.
Ringo Starr is also a real person, or was at least one.
Okay, I'm talking about people I have an actual I've talked to in person. There's interpersonal relationships there that they're born in the 80s.
Like Leo Convoy, I get it.
Yes, so I would marry. That says I'm married. No, he's taken. But I would marry the 80s. Plus, who doesn't want to get married to rock and roll?
Called it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, by my hair and outfit, I'm a fan of the rock stuff. So, God, they're both bad in their own ways. If I fuck the 90s, retroactively, I'm going to give birth to myself.
Time paradoxes are kind of awesome.
Yeah, because I was concepted in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. So if I fuck the 90s will birth me.
That's an interesting grandfather paradox, or in this case, even
I'm Fry.
Mother paradox.
I'm Fry. I became my own.
I traveled back in time and became my own mother. What?
It's an improvement. But that didn't even get a laugh. That just got a
That really makes you think.
Yeah. big think. But yeah, I guess I would fuck the 90s and then kill the 2000s. I mean,
all the poor millennials.
Well, no, here's the thing. I'll kill the two.
This is actually more Gen Z, isn't it? Millennials are 90s.
Gen Z are 2000s babies.
And why? I think we're millennials.
All three of us are millennials. I'm just on the far. Yeah. I'm on the far right, and y'all are on the far left. And
yeah.
So, but no, I would just kill the 2000s because that doesn't include the 2010s. And it was in the 2010s that I met the people that I hold close today. Oh no!
Oh, no!
If I kill the 2000s, I kill 2008, which is when I met Lauren. Oh no! I can't take back my answers.
No, you cannot. You killed your friendship with Lauren.
You
killed
monster.
An 11-year sisterhood.
Well,
to just make myself.
Let me send a message to Lauren.
I dare you to send a legit message of, Key just killed your friendship and fuck the 90s. You're having a good day.
Load quicker, okay, going here.
You're not fucking the 90s, you're fucking the 80s, aren't you? Or you're marrying the 80s.
I'm marrying the 80s.
And becoming your own, right, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keyframe took her love for the 80s over your friendship and said she killed and not said that this friendship and publicly, oh for fuck's sake, T9, publicly. Oh, this was fun doing the game yesterday because I played it from my phone and kept misspelling, so people figured out which answers were mine. And publicly stated that
if it makes you feel better, you agree with the scientists in killing the 2000s.
That's true.
And publicly stated that she would kill your friendship.
I like the thing that Odie pointed out too. Wait, didn't Lauren get you into MLP? So by killing your friendship with her, you killed like 60% of your actual status.
Butterfly effect. So it has been sent.
No!
Expect an interesting message from her, or write a message quickly after it to fix this.
No, I'm just gonna see what happens. Anyway, Max, what about you? What about you?
Okay, what do I do? I had an idea earlier. Okay, yes. So I will fuck the 2000s because that's probably the time where I started doing that, so it makes sense. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I did start fucking in the 2000s. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
we'll sleep better now knowing that particular fact.
Hey, remember that thing about, hey, you're a psychologist.
So I was 17. I will not name her name, and no, I will not go into the details. There are funny anecdotes, but they really don't belong here.
Hold on. Go ahead. Continue on. I just got
It's for the study.
Yeah, we did this. Go ahead.
And as far as I know, she doesn't watch this show, so I could actually tell about it.
Don't need look, as a woman, respectfully, I don't want people to. I would not want someone to publicly talk about any of those kind of stories without me knowing.
Let's just say.
Okay. Yes.
This experience back then, I should really not go there. Okay, now I'm committed. Okay, this experience back then got me to the realization that I prefer partners with experience, aka not virgins. Anyways, moving on.
You're a virgin, so.
Yes, but I didn't have to overcome certain biological aspects.
Just don't look at it.
Yeah, but I don't. Here's the thing: I don't like hurting my partner, and especially when you are a horny teenager.
I know. I'm just saying, it's reminding me of another story you've told.
I know. Anyway, so
Someone clip this, please.
As we just established, I fuck the 2000s. Also, yeah, we need a lot more clips of all the highlights. I wanted to show highlights to somebody recently, and I didn't. Then there was no clipping. I think
you wanted to show a highlight to Nuka about.
I think it probably would have helped me to decide whether to go on this show or not.
So, I just remember I have an appointment on this.
I have an appointment.
I have a doctor's appointment with myself.
I still need to marry or kill somebody.
If you kill the 90s, you kill me.
If you kill the 80s, you kill me and you.
I take a different angle than you guys. It's not about all the people that have been around then. Otherwise, as Nuka already established, I would now be a serial pedo for fucking all the 2000s.
Actually, no, Oda made a good point earlier that technically it's like 18 and 19-year-old right now, even from the earliest of them.
So you're so it's just jailbait. Okay,
anyways.
Please never do that again on screen when we're talking about 18 and 19-year-olds.
Please clip this. Please clip this.
No, man, someone clip it and make that into a GIF. So we can put that in Max's server. And we can put it on Twitter so people can save that as a reaction. Thank you. I depend on you.
The good news is I develop an urge to kill. It's currently not about decades, but about people. Anyways, moving on.
Oh no. Wait, that's still the 80s and 90s. Yay!
So yeah, I would probably say while both decades, the 80s and the 90s, had a big influence of me as a person, I probably am I really? I believe I'm a bit more of a 90s kid, so you could say that personality-wise, I am married to the 90s, and therefore I kill the 80s. Which is kind of a bleeding heart, but at least I didn't kill a bunch of teenagers like Nuka just did.
Oh.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis, which you do not want to miss on awkward.